Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Sports Zone.
Last night, A.J. Pierzynski continued his torrid streak at the plate with a 3-hit night. And rookie pitcher Manny Banuelos worked hard on the hill to pick up his first big league win. Today, Julio Teheran toes the slab, hoping to bring his home work here on the road. It's getaway day as the Braves go for a series sweep at Miller Park. It's the Braves and Brewers coming at you next. Here in Milwaukee, Brewers fans sing "Roll Out the Barrel," but Braves country saying "Break out the brooms." Atlanta goes for a 3-game series sweep here at Miller Park and tries to get over 500 for the 2015 season. Welcome to the ballpark, friends. Chip and Joe with you. Great series so far for the Braves on the mound and at the plate. Let's focus on the first part of that statement today. Julio Teheran gets the ball for the Braves. He's had all kinds of trouble on the road. Maybe his second half of the season begins in good fashion today.
Let's make it very clear. He stinks on the road. His numbers are awful. And his last 2 starts on the road have both been losses. And he's given up 12 runs in 12 and a third innings. At home, you see him in the white jersey here, pitching at Turner Field. He's hard to beat. He's been outstanding. On the road, it's been a different story. For what reason? Who knows? It's hard to figure out. But he's been really struggling on the road to make pitches. He's had trouble in the first inning on the road. Let's hope today it's a different story against the Brewers as he has a chance to pitch in a ballpark where he's had some success. He's pitched real well at back times.
Look at the numbers for Julio Teheran. I can't believe that these are the splits for the Braves right-hand.
And when you think about the left-handed hitters there at the bottom, that's given him a lot of trouble. Both Geraldo Parra and Adam Lynn. 7 homers, make it 8 homers for Parra, all against right-handers. Lynn, 15 homers, all against right-handers. He's got his work cut out for him today.
But no Ryan Braun in the lineup for the Brewers. He gets a day off, as does Braves killer Aramis Ramirez. Let's hope that helps Julio get back on the beam away from Turner Field. Time for a break, time for a sweep. First pitch from the home of the Brewers comes your way after this quick timeout.
Sports and outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
And we welcome you back to Miller Park, where it's the finale of this three-game set between the Bravos and the Brewers. And the Atlanta Braves looking to continue their mastery of the Milwaukee Brewers here on Getaway Day before heading to Denver and to Coors Field. Hello again, everyone. I'm Andre Aldridge. Yesterday was supposed to be a day off for Andrelton Simmons. Of course, Simba doesn't like to rest, so he got in the game in the 8th inning. His 81st game of the 84 that have been played so far this season. Only Nick Markakis has played more in 83. Simba is not a good person to rest, so as he was in the dugout trying to figure out what to do, he really couldn't find anything to do. So we talked to Chris Johnson about how he dealt with it as far as watching his main guy at shortstop try to rest on the day.
I think he just loves the game. He wants to play. It's good for him to have a day off, and anytime Skip thinks that, maybe it's time to let him rest a little bit, or even maybe take a mental day. But, he wants to be out there every single game, every single pitch. He wants to, every time there's a ball hit the shortstop, you can see him he watches the play. So, he's just a ball player.
Well, Simba told me that there was no one happier in Miller Park, or maybe in all of Milwaukee, than in the 8th inning when he got into the game, even though he wasn't able to take part in any plays there. He was just happy to get back out on the field. Simba's obviously in the lineup today, and I know that Julio Teheran can kind of appreciate that. Julio looking to make like it's Atlanta in Milwaukee. Chip and Joe have the call. When we come back, you're going to enjoy the game.
Another beautiful day in Milwaukee, and a real rarity. This is only the 10th time all season that they've had the roof open here at Miller Park. And Atlanta goes for a 3-game series sweep against Mike Fiers and the homestanding Brew Crew. A look at the Braves Academy Sports and Outdoors batting order. Peterson, Maven, Markakis, Kelly Johnson, the first 4. Uribe, Simmons, Perez, Lavarnway gives A.J. Przinsky the day off. And Julio Teheran is the Braves pitcher.
Mike Fiers is on the mound. He makes his 18th start today, just as Julio Teheran does. His last 7 starts have been very good. 3-2 with a 298. That's after a bad April where he was 0-3, 579. So he's been spending the whole months of May and June trying to cover that bad startup. 6'2", 200 pounds, same size as Julio Teheran. 22nd round pick back in 09. This guy features a fastball in the high 80s, low 90s. a curveball that's a doozy and a good split finger pitch. Also throws a cutter.
Here's the Brewers defense. Davis, Gomez, Parra in right. No Ryan Braun. Hernan Perez for Ramirez at third. Segura, Jeanette, Adam Lind around the horn, and Jonathan Lucroy is behind the plate. Jace Peterson at 254 for the year. 3 homers, 35 knocked in. And we're underway with a strike. Lance Barksdale out of Brookhaven, Mississippi has the plate today. And an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Manny Banuelos got his first big league win last night. The Braves are back at 500. And 42 wins, 42 losses. They start play today only 4 games behind the Nationals now.
Yeah, it's a good climb to get back to 500. They've won 7 out of their last 10 games, 6 out of their last 7. Good baseball all along the way.
And popped out of play, and a nice catch by the ball boy down the line. Pretty day in Milwaukee, a little cloudy overhead. Lights are on inside Miller Park. A very comfortable 67 degrees. The sliding stadium panels are closed, but the roof is open. And that's downstairs. I would assume with the cloud cover, that's going to be a big help for the hitters. This place is known for its wicked late afternoon shadows when skies are clear.
Yeah, they can only hope that it gets very cloudy.
2-2 pitch. And it's in the air towards center. And Gomez will track her down. There's out number 1. Cameron Maybin continues his sizzling work at the plate. His first triple of the year came last night. It drove in the 3rd Braves run. Maybin also has 2 singles and 2 runs scored. Those came in the series opening game. First pitch popped straight up and over the Braves dugout and into the second deck.
Big RBI triple last night that turned out to be a big hit for the Braves late in the ball game. Kept his hitting streak alive.
In the air toward right. Parra on the run near the line. Has room. 2 outs. Braun out of the lineup with some right wrist soreness, said his manager Craig Counsell before the game. The Brewers don't feel it's a serious problem, but with a day off today, travel day tomorrow, and a series with the Dodgers before the break, Braun gets a couple of days to rest the wrist. Nick Markakis bats. He's 3 for 9 in the series. Right there for a strike.
The Brewers have a horrible travel schedule coming up.
Broken bat. That's out to second. Jeanette has it and fires. Has a 1-2-3 top of the first. Julio Teheran will go to work for the Braves. No score. come the Brewers, who are having a miserable year. Milwaukee at 36-50 for the season, and only 15 wins in their home ballpark in 2015. Julio Teheran, the man in the spotlight for the Braves today. We got to get him going if the Braves are going to go where they want to go this year.
6-4 with a 4.60 ERA. Rough time on the road, but his numbers against the Brewers in 4 starts real good. A 1.59 ERA, but he's 2-0 at Turner Field, 0-2 here in this ballpark. His 4 keys to pitching success today. Number 1, first inning. Julio has a hard time. He's given up 14 runs in the first inning. That's the best inning overall for the Brewers in any of the 9 innings. They've scored 54 runs in the first inning. And those left-handed homers, Parra and Lynn in particular, got to pay attention to the fact that all of their homers have come against right-handers.
And Milwaukee, as you said, first inning runs now in 8 of their last 9 ball games. They've hit a solo home run in the first inning in each of these games at Miller Park. One of them was hit by Gerardo Parra in the opener. His 3rd leadoff homer this year. No balls and a strike for the Brewers right fielder Gerardo Parra. And out to short. Simmons has it. And Parra's retired for out number 1. Here's the rest of the Milwaukee lineup. No Ramirez, no Braun. But still some pop with Parra, Lucroy, Gomez, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Adam Lind, that left-handed bat Joe was talking about, cleans up with 15 homers. Chris Davis back from the DL. Scooter Gennett, Gene Segura, Hernan Perez at 3rd base. And Mike Fiers rounds out their Academy Sports and Outdoors 9.
Lucroy, Gennett, and Segura have the best numbers in their career against Julio Teheran, and Lucroy's 4 for 6.
Second start for Lucroy in the series. We did not see him in Atlanta. Lucroy was hurt with a broken toe. That's why his numbers are as low as they are midway through the year. And that's inside, ball 2. Lucroy finally got on the board with the long ball. His first home homer was in the first inning yesterday.
I referred to their horrible travel schedule. They leave today or tomorrow and go to Los Angeles. 3 days, then the All-Star break. So they're just in LA 3 days, then they got to come back for the All-Star break. They're home for 5 days and go right back out west for a week to Arizona and San Francisco.
Everybody always complains about the schedule in some way, shape, or form, but that's as legitimate a beef.
Boy, it's like the All-Star break got in the way of a West Coast road trip.
Right. Three and one for Lucroy. And he's aboard with a 1-out walk. And Simmons anchors the Atlanta defense up the middle. He's the Brave shortstop today. Jace Peterson joins him at second. Uribe and Kelly Johnson, the cornermen. Perez, Maven, and Markakis in the outfield. And Ryan LaVarnway is behind the plate. That's the sequence right there with Teheran is what has also stuck out for him in this season. A lot of walks.
Walked 3 in his last start, but it was a gem of an outing. 7 innings, 1 unearned run against the Phillies, and he won the game 2-1. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
And a swing and a miss by Gomez, who is in launch mode.
2 for 12 with 8 strikeouts against Julio.
He struck out twice in this series. And looked at that pitch off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
AJ getting a day off. Hopefully it won't cool off his bat.
He's had an amazing series for the Braves. Now the 2-1 pitch. Dangerous pitch. 3 balls and a strike. He lost Gomez. Back-to-back one-out walks.
He's taking a lot of time between pitches too, Chip. It's almost like he's having a little chat with himself after every ball that misses the strike zone. And that's not Julio-like. He's always aggressive. He's always wanting the ball back from the catcher to take the next pitch. Manager and pitching coach talking about these 2 walks, I'm sure.
And here we are with a big left-handed bat. One of your forward keys. Lynn with 15 homers. One of them's coming this series. And 52 runs batted in. One ball, no strikes.
47 of his 52 ribbies against right-handers.
That one in at the knees. 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, velocity's good. He had a 93 just a second ago. Nothing wrong with that. But Julio's got to be, he knows about these road woes. He knows what's going on. Hopefully it's not playing on his head somehow that here I am again on the road. And especially after that first walk, trying to ward off any bad thoughts or negative feelings. Gets a ground ball here. He's pretty much assured of a double play if it's hit at somebody because Lynn doesn't run that well.
Three and one. Manny Banuelos threw 29 pitches in the first inning last night and then settled in. Duran's ready for his 17th first inning pitch. Popped him up. Perez, long run, still coming. He's going to get there. And Lynn pops out softly for a big second out. That helps. Now you're an out away from heading to the second.
Last night was Chris Davis's first game back from the disabled list. And the thing that struck me was he is immediately jumping on pitches early in the count. And drove Markakis back into that well in right field, his first swing of the night. So be careful on the first pitch.
They were 0-1. Davis was a 7th round pick by the Brewers in 2009. Hit 22 homers for him last year. Knee surgery sidelined him. He's just back from that. Teheran falls behind another Brewers hitter.
See how he's just kind of kicking around in the dirt and Kind of waltzing back up the front slope of the mound. It's like he's mentally just trying to charge the batteries. It's not like him.
He went. It's a big call. Instead of 3-0, it's a 2-1 count.
It sure is. Makes Davis more aggressive on this pitch, where he might chase something if you throw him a good breaking ball. Not good enough.
Well, he got Lynn to pop out on a 3-1 pitch. That's the count for Chris Davis, the Milwaukee left fielder. Fastball, foul back. Now the runners will get a head start. Lucroy from second, Gomez from first on a 3-2 pitch.
Well, that's at least 2 hitters already for Milwaukee that have gotten pitches to hit and missed them and kind of threw their head back like, how did I miss that? Gomez got a hanging breaking ball that he fouled back before he drew a walk.
There go the runners. And there goes the fly ball foul.
Julio's first inning, Brewers first inning. Here we are. Got to make a good pitch.
He did. Davis missed it. And Tehran bends but doesn't break. A couple of walks, but a big strikeout keeps Milwaukee off the board in the first inning. Good live fastball. They go to the second, no score. Seats, field reserve seats, that is, for just $39 when the Braves battle the Cubs July 9th, 17th through the 19th. That's savings of up to 40%. Go to Braves.com/steal before midnight tonight to take advantage of this great offer. That's field reserve seats, $39 each, July 17th through the 19th against the Cubs.
We've run into a lot of Braves fans here in Milwaukee, some that are holdovers and some that are from other parts of the state and some just visiting.
And they've enjoyed the first 2 games immensely. The Braves have won them both. As Kelly Johnson hits a pop-up. Who wants it? It'll be Perez who makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out in the Atlanta second. Braves won 5-3 and 4-3. Matt Whistler won his 3rd game on Monday night. Manny Banuelos his first victory last night.
And they've held the Brewers to 8 hits in each of those games. That was significant compared to where they had been.
Here's Juan Uribe. He's hit safely in 9 of 10 games. And a strike from Fiers. That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fiers is out of Nova Southeastern University. He's the second player from that school to make the big leagues. J.D. Martinez the first. And he's the guy that's on the unbelievable tear for the Tigers.
Yeah.
11 homers in 13 games, something crazy like that.
Trying to pick up some of the slack for Miguel Cabrera's injury. Last night, Chip, you talked about how Tyler Cravey was a late draft pick, a 17th round pick in 09 by the Brewers, and he emerged and now he's on their staff. This guy was a 22nd round pick in the same draft, and here he is.
That's downstairs. Ball 4 to Uribe. In some ways, the Brewers were a lot like the Pittsburgh Pirates. They had some really bad teams here in the late 90s and early 2000s, drafted high in the draft, and a lot of their guys just didn't work out. J.R. Gold, guys like that, for example. But it's, as you said, the late round picks that have really saved their bacon, as it were. First base runner is Uribe on a 1-out walk, and Andrelton Simmons hits. He has to get his bat going before we head to Colorado. Line foul to the screen, strike 1.
He came into the game late last night and hit a rocket, but right at Adam Lind at first base. It would have been an extra base hit down the right field line, not right at the first baseman, but a good sign that he was hitting the ball the other way. Jace Peterson had a base hit the other way late in the game. That was a good sign for him, and Jace today a deep fly to left center.
John Coppolella is with the ball club on this road trip, and John brought up a great point that I hadn't thought of. You mentioned Andrelton Simmons batting late in the ball game. He was the first and only player for the Braves who played in the game last night or pitched in the game last night who was with the organization last year.
That's amazing.
Nobody else was on this team's roster at the end of play in 2014. As Simmons went fishing and didn't get it, he's retired on 3 tosses from Fiers. His first strikeout, 2 down.
That is, at this level, amazing that he was the only guy in the organization.
Tells you about the roster turnover, doesn't it?
Yeah. I like John Hart's terms called a reset. That is rebooting is what that is.
And now Yuri Perez bats. He's in the 7th slot today. When he starts, he hits. He's got a hit in each of his 10 starts this year for Atlanta. And he's got a hit in both games here in Milwaukee. He's also scored 2 runs. The Braves were good with 2 outs last night. Every single one of their RBIs came with 2 outs in an inning. And that's a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. When you factor in that roster turnover, and when you factor in the so-called experts' predictions for a 100-loss season for the Braves, all the more remarkable that after 84 games, this team is 42-42. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled off the catcher, Lucroy. Look at the number of pitchers and players that the Braves have used already this year.
More than anyone else. Surpassing the Rays last night when Carpenter got in the ball game. Vizcaino got in the ball game. Both of whom did a great job.
And how about this number? Braves have used 23 different relief pitchers.
That is not surprising.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's bounced beyond the Braves dugout foul. It's 1-2. Vizcaino and Carpenter debuted out of the Braves bullpen. Mike Fultonevich also pitched in relief last night. Freddy Gonzalez said he's open to the possibility of Fultonevich staying in the bullpen after the break. However, that's predicated on him pitching a little better than he did last night. A couple of strikeouts for Fiers in a scoreless second.
Julio made some good pitches when he had to Chris Davis to end the first inning. He'd walked a couple of guys and then fell behind Chris Davis 2-0. So he had to rally. He got a little help right here on a check swing that was called a strike. So that kept it from being a 3-0 count. A couple of fastballs fouled off. And then he came back and finally got one right by him. A lot of effort in that first inning. We'll see if it took anything out of him.
24 pitches for Tehran in the opening frame. And now he's got Jeanette Segura and Hernan Perez coming up. Scooter Jeanette, 5'10", 185 pounds. He swings the first pitch. Carried the bat with him 3 or 4 steps down the first base line, and he's retired for an easy out. That helps.
It sure does. You get through this inning with less than 10 pitches, that'll be a real bonus.
And here's Gene Segura. Segura's hit 3 homers. He's knocked in 24 runs and is batting .270. Strike one. That's popped up. Kelly Johnson drifts back. He gives way to Jace Peterson, who moves into the shadows and makes the play. And there's out number 2. You can just barely see the outline of the roof creeping toward the first base line in front of the Brewers dugout. Ever so slightly with the overcast skies.
And if it were a bright sunny day, it would be even more prevalent. And I do remember that day when Ben Sheets had a real nice day here in the shadows.
16 strikeouts?
16 or 17.
It's a crazy number. Oh, Ben's doing great. One of my favorite guys able to pitch for the Braves. Outstanding pitcher in his time with the Brewers. 1 ball, no strikes for Hernan Perez. 2-0.
Braves went home, and then Randy Johnson threw a perfect game. It was good times there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
For the hitters.
Good pitch. And a good result. 2-1. He's a strike away is Teheran from sending this game to a scoreless third.
You were telling me before the game about some ERA differences that Barnway, since he's come on, has really done a good job for Julio behind the plate.
Yeah, Ryan's catcher's ERA 2.25 with Julio Teheran.
It's a vast improvement over Bethancourt and even Krasinski the couple of times he's caught him.
Julio spun out of that pitch. Would love to end the inning here and start the third with the pitcher.
Yeah, a little more animated this inning.
And you see the trio of receivers for Teheran. Big pitch. And it's fouled over the screen, out of play. Braves have been very impressed with Ryan Lavarnway behind the plate.
I have been, you know that. What that's worth. I like watching him receive the ball. He's very cool, calm, good target, early target.
Swing and a miss. Teheran gets his man. Perez, his second strikeout victim, and it is a scoreless game after 2.
For playing golf. At spring training, we were the first usually in the training room and usually the first in the weight room, and getting our work done and taking pride in our work, taking care of business and leaving about 11:30 and going playing golf at spring training was a lot of fun.
No,
we played for the best manager in the world.
Absolutely. That's where Bobby was great. Come in, get your work done at 6 o'clock in the morning. When workout's over. See you later. So it was great.
Always great to see those two Hall of Famers talking about just about anything. John Smoltz, Tom Glavine.
That new show with the John Smoltz driven, though, that's part of it, and that's great to have those two guys talking about their experiences together.
I wonder if they're going to talk about the great play that John made on Tom Glavine when he was with the Mets.
I doubt it.
Swinging bunt.
If he does, it'll be a one-man conversation. The other guy won't participate.
Yeah. As LaVarnway leads off. Of course, the perfect comeback for Tommy is the infamous stop, drop, and roll play. I mean, he's got that in his back pocket for all time, too. And we really are lucky to have watched those guys pitch for so long in a Braves uniform, to represent Braves country and the organization for as long as they did, to work with us in the booth and share their insights.
What a great thing for the organization.
Well, absolutely.
What a great thing that for the last 2 years, the Braves organization has basically moved to Cooperstown and set up shop to be able to enjoy the induction of 4 people. I don't know if that's ever been done from one organization over a 2-year period. That's incredible.
And don't forget, Chipper Jones is not far behind. He's got to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when his time comes.
One would think.
LaVarnway, then Tehran, then Jace Peterson against Mike Fiers. He slings it straight over the top, and LaVarnway wasn't fooled a bit. He's got the first base hit of the ball game and his 4th as a Brave.
I'll say this. The Hall of Fame puts a 20-minute limit on your speech. Fastball hit right back through the middle. If John Smoltz can keep his speech under 20 minutes, I'll buy him a lemonade. I think that's a challenge.
Could you imagine how difficult that must be? First of all, to be enshrined in Cooperstown, the overwhelming nature of that in and of itself. Then editing your memories and figuring out who to thank.
That's a great description right there, buddy. That's like a major league play-by-play guy description. Editing your memories. That is outstanding.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
What do you include? And
it's who you leave out.
Well,
and that is a wonderful description. Julio's a great bunter. Maybe the best bunter among the pitchers. He's got 6 sacrifices already this year. But I almost hate to see him pull the bat back to think about doing a slug bunt swing.
Just LaVarnway dived back, put his hand on the base, and then looked at Fiers like, I'm a catcher.
Yeah, well, it's the first time in his career he's had to dive.
Look at that. And then Fiers threw it away.
Are you kidding me?
Atta baby. The old Yale Deke.
What a bonehead mistake that is. Got a guy that couldn't run out of sight in 2 days. You're trying to pick him off or hold him close for the bunt. Thank you very much.
Remember Josh Satin?
Yes.
My favorite player because of the tremendous eyebrows. I think he had 1 professional stolen base, and the Braves kept throwing over. Yeah. And he finally looked up and said, I've got 1.
Yeah.
Ever. He thrown over here for.
So he can bunt him to third.
There you go. Beauty. It's a perfect bunt. A perfect bunt. And the gift keeps on giving. Runner at third, 1 out in the top of the order coming up.
I mean, that was so good that Hernan Perez almost froze like, am I supposed to get that or are you going to get it? That was excellent. So the error may really come back to hurt him because it won't take a base hit to score him.
And the Brewers infield has come in. Peterson lined out his first time. He'd gladly take a similar result here. Strike one. First ball game here in Milwaukee, we kind of bemoaned the approach of the Braves. They jumped out to that 4-1 lead, trying to add on runs. There were some big, long swings when the simple contact would have provided some more offense. See if Jace can put it in play and not at somebody on the infield.
Very good in this department. I'm surprised the major league average is that low.
Two balls and a strike. Cameron Maybin with a .403 batting average with runners in scoring position waits next. Jace took it, even count, 2-2.
Pretty good pitch there. That might have been his cutter. I don't know if LeVarn will be going on contact simply because he just doesn't have the speed to cover that ground on a grounder to the infield.
They could throw a good pitch, Jace.
Yeah, I wouldn't look for anything middle in. Everything's been away. See where Lucroy sets up.
Ball four. So it's base on balls. The Brewers, though, do have the double play set up. That requires retiring Maybin, who's been red hot for Atlanta all year.
Fire's last start at Cincinnati, he got a ton of runs to work with, bunch early, and won the game 12-1. He went 7 innings, a 3-hit shutout ball. He walked 2, struck out 2. He's already walked 2 today.
I would imagine, Joe, your point earlier about something having to give today. Tehran's road problems, same problems for this guy on his home mound. He's thinking, I've got to throw perfect pitches at home.
Yeah, his home number's awful. 1-4, 4.56 ERA. Day games, he's 1-4.
And spun too tight. 1 ball, no strikes.
And that's his out pitch. That curveball is his out pitch that he was just trying to get over for a strike and almost hit him.
Runner goes, and it's a little squibber that's going to spin foul by Maybin. 1 ball, 1 strike. Barnway did not break for the plate on that rolling baseball down the first base line. He should feel at home. They're playing Sweet Caroline on the Stadium Organ. So that's a good omen for the Braves catcher, who stands 90 feet away representing the first run. Swing and a fly ball. That's well hit. Deep toward left. Davis back. She is gone. A 3-run homer for Maybin.
Boy, was that a short, quick swing. Looked like something down and in, and he just flipped his hands on it. Cameron Maybin, where you been so long? Down and in, and he just drops a barrel on it.
have to rename the song Sweet Cameron.
Yeah, I like that.
3-run jack, his 8th homer, 43 RBIs, and Atlanta has scored 3 in the 3rd. 11th homer allowed by Fiers this year. Nick Markakis rounded out his first time up. And high to him. 1 ball, no strikes. This Braves team all year long has found a way. It hasn't always been pretty. It always hasn't been textbook. But Freddie Gonzalez's club has figured out a way to stay relevant. Popped up and into the seats, foul. Remember, this is an Atlanta team playing without Freddie Freeman right now. This is an Atlanta team that's been playing very good baseball without Freddie Freeman. They survived that juggernaut of pitching, the Mets, the Nationals, the Pittsburgh Pirates. And once they got through that in pretty good shape, they've taken advantage of some weaker clubs in the National League and have pitched great and hit great. And have gotten their record back to 500.
I was talking to a person the other day, I wish I could remember who it was, said that, you know, the joy they're having in watching this team is that, okay, there were a few days there, a few weeks into the season where Freddie had to go to the bullpen and everybody kind of had a wonder what's going to happen moment. But that's calmed down. That has really improved where you don't even really think about that now. And the best compliment they paid was they said, you know, there are a lot of games where you might be watching and the Braves are down 2 or 3 runs in the 9th inning, but I don't turn the TV off. Well, I said I don't turn Chip off, and because this team has such a good ability to come back.
They give him a finish.
Yeah.
Right? Ground ball right side again. Jeanette's got it to his left. 2 outs. The term we've used a lot is entertaining or fun to watch. That doesn't mean you win every game. But we have not seen the Braves get blown out hardly at all this year. We certainly haven't seen them blow opponents out very much this year. But fundamentally, they catch the ball, they run hard, they play hard, and they push across just enough offense to be in virtually every game they've played.
Think about last year, this time last year, Braves were well over 500, first place. But I just get a sense from Freddie Gonzalez, we talk to him every day. Heads up. We talk to him every day, and I just get the sense he's having a whole lot more fun managing this ball club.
Carlos Tosca mentioned that.
Yeah, and last year, especially September went right down the drain. That was torturous.
That ball's hammered toward the gap. That ball is gone. A line drive homer for Kelly Johnson. He hit it right into a cluster of Braves personnel right up against the back wall of the bullpen. It's a 4-run inning, and the Braves are playing long ball in Brew City.
They haven't hit many homers, but boy, when they do, isn't it fun?
Get ready, we're going to Denver.
Yeah, it's exciting. Second homer of the series for Kelly. High fastball out away from him. Probably dropped it right on Eddie Perez's clipboard. And he was getting out of the way. Probably still smoking a little bit.
On your eBay bats.
Anyway, this team is fun for us to watch. It's a whole lot of fun for Freddie and the staff to work with too.
There's a liner into right. The Braves are enjoying their second look at Mike Fiers, and Jonathan Lucroy is going to try to get him back on the beam, as will the pitching coach, Rick Kranitz. Well, look, let's be honest, too. We talked about all the changes that this roster has undergone in the offseason retooling, as we use your term. We all know the July 31st trading deadline is coming up. The job of that man is to make the decisions for the front office as difficult as he possibly can by winning as many games as he can at the major league level. And the point I was making about Carlos Tosca, when Freddie Gonzalez managed the Marlins, he had many a roster that were in many ways much like the one he has this year in Atlanta. A lot of interchangeable parts, a lot of guys making trips up and down between AA and or AAA to the big league club. And Carlos said that's when Freddie's at his best as a big league manager. He's gotten everybody involved in what's going on this major league roster. A bunt try is fouled by Simmons with 2 outs, strike 1.
You mentioned the second time through the order against Mike Fiers. That batting average really catapults second time, and look what it is third time through.
So bottom line is nobody knows what will happen 23 days from today with regards to the Braves roster. We all hope they'll be in a position to add big league talent. As it stands now, Atlanta is 4 games out of first place. And I promise you, no one around Major League Baseball figured that Freddie Gonzalez's team could say that in early July.
No,
nobody.
There's been several columns written nationally about the Braves and the surprise that they have been given the transformation they were going through.
Pop fly, that's headed for the Brewers dugout and into the seats, foul. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
It's been said that when this transformation was taking place, that one of the things that the Braves were going to get back to also was getting good people, getting baseball players, getting quality guys. So while some of them may not have the eye-popping numbers of some that departed, they are players. They're baseball players who like to come into the park. Goodness knows they get here early enough and do their work. But they like being on the field and they like competing.
Oh, boo.
Right through the wickets. Thanks goodness the security guy down there was backing him up. I'm sure it took a bad hop.
They worry about bad hops a lot in this city, don't they? Check swing. That's upstairs. And on the appeal to first, no swing, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 4 runs for the Braves in the 3rd inning. Inning kind of came unglued for Fiers with his throwing error to first base. Might have been thinking about that after a sacrifice. He walked Peterson. Maben hit a 3-run homer. Kelly Johnson's hit a 2-out solo shot. And now Simmons swung at a ball above his head, and that'll end the inning. 8 come to the plate, 4 score. The Braves hit 2 more homers in Milwaukee tonight. Maben's 3-run shot is his 8th. Kelly Johnson's solo shot is also his 8th. And Tehran has a big early lead.
Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day.
Well, a good third inning for the Braves. They score 4 runs with a couple of homers. And so Julio Teheran, looking for some good luck on the road, has a big lead, and the pitcher starting off what he hopes will be, Joe, a shutdown inning.
Right. Quickly.
No balls, 2 strikes. What a luxury it is for a pitcher who's struggling to have some runs to play with, knowing he doesn't have to pitch so finely. Not to suggest he doesn't want to pitch well, but he doesn't have to make perfect pitches, pitch after pitch. Maybin's 3-run homer, a big part of the reason why Teheran can settle in. Swing and a miss. He got the pitcher. That's 3rd strikeout. Julio set down 6 straight. He's getting enough runs. That's why Teheran's got 6 victories this year. And now Gerardo Parra bats. Parra hit a ground ball to short. After a lot of pacing and pawing and length between pitches, Teheran's been a little more crisp. Something A.J. Pierzynski said to Manny Banuelos last night. Taking too much time between pitches. Foul back, even count.
Well, knowing how things, as I said in the first inning, how things have gone for Julio on the road, just because he walked Lucroy, that's no reason to drop your head and start pawing at the dirt thinking, you know, woe is me again on the road, and that's kind of the way he was acting. Wound up walking Gomez too.
That pitch fooled Parra. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And again, that's just not like him. Good change up. Dragged that back leg on it so that he wasn't coming through it too quickly.
Coming in. And missed. 2-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Parra argues. And he flips his hands in the air in disgust. Eric Cooper didn't like that too much. Parra turns and heads back to the Milwaukee dugout after being struck out.
It was a quick appeal by Barksdale and a quick answer by Cooper. Close enough.
Julio struck out 3 straight. And here is Jonathan Lucroy. And a strike. A couple of years ago, Lucroy suffered one of the weirdest injuries you'll ever hear a major league player suffer. He broke his hand searching for a sock.
That doesn't happen every day.
It does not. As the story goes, Lucroy and the Brewers were in Los Angeles. Jonathan's wife was traveling with him and with the team. He was looking under the bed for one of his socks. His wife accidentally shifted the luggage. The suitcase fell on top of his hand and broke his hand.
That's their story, and they're sticking to it.
Yeah. Popped up. If it's true, you got to hand it to him for originality. Teheran, a 1-2-3 third inning. He does have a shutdown frame, and he leads 4-0 as the Braves go for a sweep today. Tuesday, July 21st, when the Dodgers are in town. The first 20,000 fans at Turner Field get a bobblehead featuring Freddie Freeman hugging Johnny Gomes. Don't miss out on this limited edition bobblehead by visiting Braves.com/tickets. Hope Freddie's doing all right. Haven't heard an update as to how his wrist is feeling. Remember, most of his discomfort, he told us, was at the injection site for that plasma-rich platelet injection that he took in the wrist to try to help calm down the inflammation.
Let's hope that brace has done some good so that there's not a lot of overuse of that wrist. He might calm down.
If he can play right after the break, are the minor league teams in action while we're on the All-Star break?
I think so.
So he could maybe get a game or two in. See some live pitching before the Cubs come to town. But I don't know the answer to how Freddie's feeling. Hopefully he can shoot us a text and let us know. I'm sure he's watching today. Julio looks good. Braves bats have scored 4 on 4 hits, including a couple of homers. And Perez pushes a bunt toward Lind at first. Race to the bag, and he beats Perez there. Head first dive. And Perez points to the Atlanta dugout, asking this one to be reviewed.
Well, if anybody had a bird's eye view of it, it would be Perez, who was looking right at the base and the foot. This is a great angle here. Oh.
The call was out. The question is there enough evidence to change the call?
Leading off the inning might be worth it.
Got the lead. So Freddie says, I'm going to challenge it. And look at the video replay assistant. He set a National League record for most cable used.
Yes.
To greet the umpires. He's all the way to the third baseline.
Yeah, I thought he was going to the mound. Okay, look at it again. I think the hand got there. It's like Lynn planted his heel, but it wasn't on the bag, and by the time his foot came down, the hand was there. And the fans here at the ballpark, and there are a lot of them watching the replay on the big screen, they're kind of groaning.
So Perez trying to sniff out another hit here in Milwaukee on a bunt in the top 4th inning.
And again, I think because he's leading off the inning, to get the inning started, it's worth a look.
Very least, in the old days, the old saying, the tie goes to the runner.
Yeah.
At the very least, it was a tie. Again, the call was out at first, and there has to be enough video evidence to overrule that call.
First base umpire is Quinn Wolcott.
This one is indeed taking some extra time. Busy day around the big leagues today. We'll keep you posted on the scores as they become available. We, of course, want to know what the Nationals will be doing today. The Reds are in town playing Washington. Cincinnati's beaten the Nationals all 5 games they've played in this year. 5-0. Yeah. Johnny Cueto beat Max Scherzer.
That's one of the best games pitched all year, I think. I mean, the exception of Scherzer's no-hitter, of course. But, I mean, 9-inning, 2-hit shutout ball by Cueto. Struck out 11, I think.
And every time he takes the mound for the Reds, people say, well, that might be his last start with Cincinnati. He's a very attractive trade candidate. He's proving his elbow is sound after clubs looking for pitching depth at the deadline, Cueto might be a very, very attractive commodity. Cubs beat the Cardinals twice yesterday. They won a doubleheader over St. Louis, and the verdict's in. Perez is out. Braves lose the challenge. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Call stands. My guess is not enough evidence to overrule the original call.
Toward the look.
So Fires dodges a bullet. He gets Perez on a bunt try, and here's Lavarnway, who singled and scored ahead of Maven's homer. And that's high to the Braves catcher. 1 ball, no strikes. In the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. Braves will play the Rockies tomorrow night, a 4-game series beginning at Coors Field. Alex Wood will pitch for the Braves in the opener.
Much about Fiers' last 7 starts that he's pitched better. Well, listen to these lines on his last 3. A no decision against the Mets, 6 innings. He gave up 2 runs, struck out 7. Got a no decision against Minnesota, 7 innings, only gave up 1 run, struck out 4. And then I told you about 3 innings of shutout ball against the Reds in 7 innings.
Big league pop up. Lind at the first base bag. 2 outs.
So he's been on fire lately.
And now Julio Teheran will bat. Lay down a perfect sacrifice in the Braves' big 3rd inning. I think the Brewers will be a fascinating team to follow in July, not because their record's anything to talk about, but they have some really good players that might be very attractive to other clubs at the deadline. Ron Renicky was dismissed after an awful start. They promised Craig Counsell the opportunity to see if the Brewers could play better baseball. By and large, they have. They're a couple games under 500 since Counsell took over. He was given a 3-year contract with no managerial experience to lead the Brewers ball club. It's high. 3 balls, no strikes to the Braves pitcher. And Teheran walks on 4 pitches. 3 walks for Fiers. And then has the Boo Birds out. My guess, Joe, too, with Milwaukee. How good do they think they can be from the opening bell next year? They're going to have to replace Aramis Ramirez. You've got Braun. You've got Gomez. You've got Lucroy. You've got a pretty good bullpen.
It's all about starting pitching for them, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do with Garza and Loesch?
Yep.
I don't see them moving up in the Central Division with those 2 guys. Even if it's a 2-year, 3-year program to move up and challenge the Cardinals, are going to have to get some more starting pitching.
Throw to first off the bat of Jace Peterson, and the walk to Teheran does no harm for Mr. Fiers. Home 4th, 4-0 Atlanta.
The Brewers 4-0. You know, a little earlier, Chip and Joe were talking about the transformation of this Braves ball club, and it's something that's also been felt definitely inside of the clubhouse, and all of us have noticed it in a lot of ways. And while professionalism and focus on team are the most important values in there, it is definitely a lighter, more fun clubhouse. Before today's game, Juan Uribe had everyone's attention because he was killing A.J. Pierzynski for taking the day off. Now, you would have paid attention to him under any circumstances, but he was using the megaphone of Johnny Gomes because, of course, Johnny Gomes travels with one of those electronic first-class megaphones. And so A.J. was getting killed because Juan kept repeating, A.J., A.J., you go cry to the manager. I'm so old. I'm so tired. I can't play today. A.J., you're such a big baby. Now, remember, these guys were teammates in Chicago, but it went on for a long time. There's some of it that we can't repeat on a family network, but I just want you to know that it was entertaining, and it's been like this all season, guys.
You could say it once, Andre, I think.
No, it's okay. But I'll guarantee you, A.J. didn't take it lying down. There were probably a few shots across the bow of Juan Uribe as well.
That's a sign of a close clubhouse.
Yes, it is.
We're saying if they don't get on you, they really don't like you very much. 2-0 for Carlos Gomez.
And Joe, just to follow up on that, A.J. kind of started it last night because in the clubhouse he was going at Juan going, Juan, I hit a home run to dead center field. I'm not old like you.
Nice.
And just missed the thigh of the Brewers center fielder. 3 balls and a strike.
Not anywhere close.
Gomez, Lind, and Chris Davis for the Brewers. And a swing and a miss. Gomez chased a bad ball and is strikeout victim number 5 for Julio. 1 away.
Can't you see a difference in him? And Julio, I mean, his presence on the mound, the way he's going about his business. Even the second inning, before he got the 4 runs, when he got them in order, pop up, strikeout. He was working quicker. He was on task. He was getting the ball back, getting his sign, throwing it. And then he got the 4 runs, and even more so.
He got Lynn to pop out his first time on the first pitch. And that one sailed way up and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
That one was close.
Yeah.
Target down and away.
Right off the sausage side behind home plate. Upstairs, 2-0. Lynn's fine hitter. A couple of years ago won the Edgar Martinez Award for the best designated hitter over in the American League. Had a 35 homer year with Toronto. And 303. A strike.
Sun's breaking through and the shadow becomes more prominent.
He lost Lind, a 1-out walk. Third Brewer base runner, all of them via the base on balls, and now Chris Davis bats.
That missed. And now Lavarnway out for a visit with Tehran.
He's giving him a little direction on the count went to 3-0 about target not falling off the mound. A reminder from him and Anderson.
Braves had to go deep into the bullpen last night, with Banuelos pitching 5 in the 3rd innings. It's a deep bullpen in that the Braves added Fultonevich with a trip to Denver for 4 days coming up. Yeah, that said, you don't want to go 4 deep today if you can avoid it.
No, they've got bodies, and Avilan and Johnson got a day off. I would doubt that Gurley's available today. He's gone 3 days in a row. But get back on the track. Make him put the ball in play.
He put it in play to deep center. Maben at the wall. Won't get back. Chris Davis with a mammoth 2-run homer.
He did put it in play. Fastball on a 2-0 count. And I mean high off the center field wall. Right below the scoreboard. Wow. Maybe off the scoreboard. That advertising at the bottom of the scoreboard.
That's a big league home run.
Yep.
And that cuts the lead in half. It's now 4-2 in the 4th inning. The first Brewer hit left the yard. Now on strike to Scooter Gennett. Tie strike. It's 1-2.
So 2-run homer. He's still got a 4-2 lead. Get back to being aggressive. He's ahead in the count. Don't go into a shell. That hit by Davis, the first one he's ever recorded off Julio. He had been 0 for 7.
Fly ball to right. And Markakis makes the play. 2 down. Gene Segura popped out in the middle of the Brewers' 2nd inning. Reds play the Nationals tonight. That game starts at 7:05 Eastern Time. Michael Lorenzen will pitch for the Reds. Gio Gonzalez will work for the Nationals. Washington riddled by injury. Neither Span nor Yunel Escobar played yesterday. That means 5 of the Nationals' projected starting position players are hurt or hurting. Ground ball off the right side of the mound. That helps Jace Peterson. And Tehran rallies after the homer. A fly out and a ground out sends our game to inning number 5. It's 4-2 Braves. back. They've got the 2, 3, 4 men coming up. Maben, Markakis, and Kelly Johnson. Maben and Johnson have homered already. Ball one high for Cameron Maben.
Do you like facing guys that threw over the top like this guy?
Yeah. I mean,
didn't bother you?
No. Must have picked the ball up nicely in the same spot every time, coming right over the top.
It's like Josh Clementer of Arizona. I don't know if Fiers threw tomahawks in the offseason to perfect his delivery down in South Florida.
Probably not.
To short, tricky hop. Segura, nice play, had to get rid of it fast and got a fast man. Good play.
Shows you a good arm too. Talked about him last night about I don't have him in my top 4 in the National League in shortstops, but he's right there in the next group. Nice hands there.
Nick Markakis has hit 2 ground balls to Scooter Gennett. Fly ball, shallow center. Gomez gets there, 2 out. And Kelly Johnson. We had the amazing graphic last night that in the absence of Freddie Freeman, the Braves had a grand total of 1 homer from their first baseman. Well, Kelly's now hit the second one since Freeman went to the disabled list. Johnson a 2-run homer here on Monday. And a solo shot in the 3rd today.
And you were asking about maybe doing some rehab during the All-Star break, and Dennis Llewellyn, the pitching coach for Mississippi, sent me a note that said that he thought the breaks were at the same time, but theirs is a lot shorter.
Okay.
Like maybe just Tuesday, the 14th, the day of the All-Star game, maybe they're off.
So slight overlap, but
yes,
the full 4 days.
At least that's the case for Mississippi.
Kelly was reaching for that ball and hits it in the air toward Parra in right, and it's a quick and easy inning for Fiers, who's due second in the home half of the inning. 4-2 Atlanta. seats for $39 when the Braves take on the Cubs July 17th, 18th, and 19th. The savings of up to 40%. Go to Braves.com/steal before midnight tonight and take advantage of this great offer.
It's a great homestand for Atlanta right after the break. We've got the Dodgers and the Cubs. Actually, it's the Cubs first, then the Dodgers, but you get my point. A real test for Atlanta after the All-Star break, which begins this coming Monday.
This season, Chuck had the guys check it out with Stats Inc. on Julio's ERA. Overall, 3.82 now, but home with the lead, it's 3.46. Still high on the road at 4.66 when he's pitching with the lead.
He's allowed 2 runs on 1 hit today. He's walked 3. The hit, a Chris Davis 2-run homer an inning ago. He's got the 8, 9, and 1 spots due for the Brewers. Quickly 2 strikes for Hernan Perez. Swing and a miss. Good start. 6 strikeouts for Julio today.
Backed up his off-speed pitches there and threw an excellent slow breaking ball. Nicely done.
You had an amazing stat on Mike Fiers as a major league hitter before the game today.
Yeah. Got it right here.
So, should have teed you up. Hey, Joe, what's that stat on Fiers?
81 career at bats.
Yeah.
Has never walked.
You know what they say, don't you? Tough to walk out of Deerfield Beach.
Yeah. Can't walk off the beach.
1-1 pitch. And a swing and a miss. .24 of those 75 pitches for Tehran came in the opening inning. And he just struck out his mound opponent. Looking, that's number 7. 2 outs. Gerardo Parra's coming up. Parra was called out on a check swing strikeout his last time up. Gave Eric Cooper a bit of the business as he made a right turn to the Brewer dugout. So he's 0 for 2. Speed pitch, a strike. Up and away. 2 balls and a strike.
Pretty good one. NC Bank box track shows that Lance Barksdale got it right. Middle out.
3 balls, 1 strike. Oh, he's got a little bit of the Ryan Braun act work.
Sure does.
Now it's a 3-2 pitch coming. Allowed to step out after a foul ball. And Teheran peers over the glove, ready to bring it home with 2 outs. Ground ball sawed him off. Peterson's got it. Throw to first is in time. 3 up, 3 down for Julio. We go to the 6th. Deep toward left. Davis back. She is gone. A 3-run homer for Maven.
That's torturous.
That ball's hammered toward the gap. That ball is gone. A line drive homer for Kelly Johnson. He hit it right into a cluster of Braves personnel. Braves fans loving this series in Milwaukee. The roof is open. The sun is out. Comfortable weather, and Atlanta with a 2-run lead going for a sweep in Miller Park.
Braves have won 10 of the last 13 against the Brewers overall, dating back to the beginning of last season. 5-1 against them this year.
Balls, 2 strikes. And way upstairs. Fiers trying to grind out innings in the hope that his offense can catch up. Julio Teheran is through 5 with a 2-run lead. And a bouncing ball headed for the Braves dugout. A couple of guys had to duck under the netting. Check out those shades.
I like the shades.
I know where you're going. That's high.
I think you should get a cut like that.
You think?
Yeah, you could pull that off. He and Alex Wood got it working.
Bouncing ball, 3rd. Perez, nice pick. Bad throw out of reach of Lynn, and that picked off the ball boy and is stuck under the chair. He has to get out of the way, and safely in at second is Uribe. The throw airmailed Adam Lynn at first, and a good start for Atlanta.
This was a nice play by Perez to begin with. Hot shot. Showed off a good arm, but too good. And the Braves did catch a break because Uribe wasn't going anywhere until the ball got hung up over there under that chair. Good way to start the inning.
See if Anderson can move him over or move him in. He has struck out twice. And a bunt. And it's a real good one. 2 of those by the Braves today. Uribe at third on a sacrifice.
That's the way you do it. Makes life a lot simpler for that guy coming up who doesn't have to get a base hit to drive in a run.
And that guy is Yuri Perez, and the infield for Milwaukee is going to come in. Here's the spot where I was talking about earlier. Don't need a home run here. Fly ball would be nice. Home run would be nice too. Don't misunderstand. But put it in play somewhere. Perez looking for his second RBI. The pitch is taken low. Ball 1. By the way, Freddie Freeman is watching. He texted me a second ago.
Good.
And he said in his conversations with Dr. Laurie, he's feeling in the next couple of days that he'll be ready to turn the corner with how the wrist feels. So that's good news. 1 ball, no strikes. And talking with Freddie on the homestand, he said, you can't believe how big those needles are when they do the plasma injection.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. So that was a big part of the discomfort. It's supposed to be about a 2-week process before the body feels good recovering from the medicine that's trying to help. 2 balls, no strikes. And found away at the plate. 2-1.
Yuri's getting his hit a game when he starts, but his swing's gotten longer. And there was a 2-0 count there, good hitters count, where he knows all he's got to do is hit a fly ball, basically. But try to hit the ball hard somewhere out of the infield. But it was long, almost like he was trying to hit a home run instead. And as a result, he was late on a 2-0 count. Put something to right center.
2-2. Needless to say, big run 90 feet away for Atlanta. Strike 3 outside corner. Fires with a big strikeout.
PNC Bank shows it. They were doing a 2-seam. They came back and caught the outside corner. It was the first 2 strikes that were objectionable, not in calls, but in swings.
Now fires to the windup. He's got the 8th place hitter Lavarn way up there, and Tehran on deck.
They're going to put him on. I think that's a smart thing to do if you're the Brewers.
Yep. Especially after that first pitch sailed so high. You think about a wild pitch. Breaking in Uribe. So be an intentional walk. And Atlanta will have runners at the corners for Julio Tehran, who sacrificed and walked today.
Milan's still got to be heads up. He's throwing bullets in here for these pitch outs.
And there's ball 4. And here's Julio Teheran.
Season high in walks for Fiers with the inclusion of that free pass.
Way outside. Nice stop, LaCroix. And he'll head to the mound. Talk all the time, Joe, about how the shadows affect the hitters. We forget there's another pair of people back there. The catcher and the umpire have to pick up the baseball in the sunshine and shadows.
A little different, though, Chip, catching it and watching it versus trying to put a bat on it. And LaCroix maybe reminding him that, you know, way overthrowing. We got the pitcher up here. Make him swing the bat.
He's already walked him once.
Yeah.
He's behind him 2-0. Nobody throwing in the Brewers bullpen. And Jace Peterson's on deck. No swing. 3 balls and a strike.
That was almost David Justice like, only from the right side. Take 2, Julio, and go to right.
Barnway will be off with the pitch. Lynn plays behind him at first. Uribe's at third. And now the 3-2. Ground ball up the middle. Segura Fields has only one play, and he makes it. And that retires the side. Braves strand a pair in the 6th. 2, 3, and 4 up for Milwaukee. It's a 4-2 game. Wrong time award today.
When you walk out in the street, look both ways.
Yeah.
He almost took out the Bratwurst, who's leading the race. And boy, did the fans boo.
You know what? The lady was trying to help the Polish win.
Might have been.
Inside job. It didn't work.
No.
Good try, though. So here we go to the home 6th inning. 4-2 Atlanta. It's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Go to #SouthDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. One of the all-time great capers in the sausage race was Randall Simon. Remember him?
That wasn't so great.
If you don't like the sausage race, it was fine. Assault and battery with one of the racing sausages. The next time Simon came to this ballpark, he was with the Chicago Cubs. They duct taped him to the rail so he couldn't move. He was all wrapped up like a butterfly cocoon. No chance. Randall Simon. Here's Lucroy. He's walked and popped out. And that's in for a strike. Love to have Julio get this game through 7 today. This is a key inning for him. He's got Gomez and Lynn to follow. Remember, Ramirez and Braun are lurking on the Brewer bench if needed. That's out of play, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
LaVarnway just gave him a reminder right before that pitch. LaVarnway was patting the outside of his right thigh or his hip, almost like a tip to Julio to stay closed.
Jammed him. Simmons at short. Long throw, and LaCroix is out number 1. Julio's got the ball in the hands of a couple hitters today. Power to end the 5th, LaCroix to start the 6th.
Well, I like what LaVarnway's doing. He's like a jockey. You know, he's giving him some signs. He's pumping him up. He's reminding him to do things. He hasn't had to go to the crop yet, but he may have to yet. First inning would have been a good time for that.
Here's Gomez, a walk and a strikeout. And that missed.
Good changeup.
The Brewers' pen begins to work. Braves bullpen silent. That's Will Smith. Fly ball well hit left. Perez on the run near the fence. He can't get it. It's a home run. We've got a 1-run game.
Looked like a slider that was just spinning a cement mixer, and Yuri Perez a face plant on the wall. Had it or not, that does not feel good.
So 2 homers allowed by Tehran today. Lind, the hitter, with the bases empty, and he takes a strike.
And the home runs have been hit by right-handers.
With that home run, now the Braves bullpen sees some action. Caino is the first man up to throw. Barnway will buy him some more time to get loose. Gomez, a 365-foot homer to left. Milwaukee 3 runs on 2 hits, both hits home runs. Foul past first. 2-2.
Trips through the order for Julio Teheran get better as the game goes on until the 3rd time through, and that's where we are.
Lynn shoots one to left. No problem for Perez. He makes the play. 2 out. Here's Davis, one of the longest home runs I've seen hit in this park. Came off his bat in the 4th inning.
Yeah, they said 425. That's conservative, I think.
I ask because I don't know the answer.
Does this scoreboard hang over the center field fence like it does in Phoenix?
No, not over the playing field. That hit right off the L in light.
Little pop towards short, and Davis is retired. Teheran gives up a 1-out solo home run. Top of the order up for the Braves in what's now a 1-run game. Through the 9th when the Marlins are in town. The fun starts Friday with great autograph opportunities. Saturday, the first 20,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a 1995 World Series replica ring. Get there early for the 6th annual Legends softball game on Saturday, too. For tickets, visit Braves.com/alumni weekend.
I think it's one of the best weekends of the year. All those guys come back, always good to see them. Teheran getting a little padding on that inside of the right big toe where the pitchers drag their foot. Sometimes that can get real irritated or blistered.
The day is done for Mike Fiers. The Brewers starter is taken down after 6 frames, and he'll give way for Will Smith. You know the Smith story with the Braves. You also know he's got a terrific arm. Atlanta touched him for what proved to be the game-deciding run last night. A walk to Jace Peterson, came home on a Markakis single.
First run he'd allowed in a while. Excellent numbers all year.
The bunt. Lind. Nobody got to the first base bag. Jeanette was late, and it's a bunt single.
Beauty. Man, that's 3 good bunts today by Atlanta. And one, really a 4th by Yuri Perez that almost turned into a base hit.
That's the kind of play that I would imagine will drive Craig Counsell crazy.
Well, it was a well-executed bunt, and you got a slow first baseman and a left-hander falling off to the third base side of the rubber.
Maven bats, and he shows bunt, and took a strike.
So well executed by Jace.
A few more runs would be nice. The Braves have 4 on 5 hits. Braves hit 2 homers in the 3rd inning.
This was the first home run by the Braves. Short, quick swing on a pitch down and in. Zax was in to scramble a good play. 3-run homer. Put the Braves on the board.
Now it's 0-2 for Maven. Peterson a good lead at first. And Cameron protects and is still alive.
And still trying to go to right field.
Swing and a miss. Smith has his first out of the inning. First time Maven has struck out today.
It almost looked like to me, and I don't know till I see him after the game, but almost like he didn't pick the ball up real well. I don't know if that, again, the shadow and the bright sunlight behind the mound have anything to do with it. But I'm just telling you from experience, when Ben Sheets was working here one day, tough to see.
Nick Markakis is 0 for 3. 2 ground outs to second and a fly ball to center. One ball, one strike. This is our one and only trip to Milwaukee this year. Be our last chance to spend a few moments with Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker. Great voice of the Milwaukee Ball Club, working today. And a former Atlanta Brave. One ball, one strike. And out of play, foul. 45th year behind the microphone in Milwaukee for Bob Uecker. I didn't realize this until I read it in the bio. He got his start in show business in Atlanta. In 1969, legendary jazz musician Al Hirt had a small nightclub in Atlanta. He knew of Bob, invited him in to perform, as Bob did a stand-up routine. As that ball's out of play, foul.
And Mr. Hurt was so impressed that he recommended Bob Uecker to a man you all have heard of, Johnny Carson. Bob Uecker went on to the Tonight Show, became one of Johnny Carson's favorite guests, appearing over 100 times on the Tonight Show. And of course, his stints in Major League, and Mr. Belvedere and the like. The famous beer commercials as well that were a big nationwide hit in the 70s. Must be in the front row was one of Bob's lines in that commercial run.
He's certainly one of the funniest guys I've ever met. But besides that, I think lost in that is the fact that he's really a darn good broadcaster. Really easy to listen to on the radio.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see how the Braves play it.
Well, and if you're Nick Markakis, you've earned this 3-2 pitch. You've really taken some good pitches. You've fouled off some good pitches. So now the left-hander is going to have to give you something to hit or lose you. Advantage Nick.
Peterson's running. Swing and a fly ball hit to right. Parra back. It's over his head and up against the wall. Here comes Peterson around third. He's going to score. Nick Markakis makes it a 5-3 game. A bunt single and a double by the left-handed bats against the left-handed pitcher. And Atlanta extends its lead.
See, this is kind of like the at-bat that Chris Davis had. When Davis got the count 2-0 on Julio, he teed off 3-2 against a very tough left-handed pitcher. Boy, it just shifts all the advantage to the hitter. And with a runner going, that was an easy RBI for Nick. And what a nice swing, quick, short swing he put on that. Ball jumped off his bat.
His 28th RBI. And the Braves add on late. 5-3 for Kelly Johnson, another left-handed bat. A 3rd inning homer highlights his day today. And Lucroy smothered the pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes.
I mean, that swing was so good. It's okay for Nick to wear that suit he's wearing today to Denver, right?
Not a fan, huh?
I'm just saying that he earns the right to wear it.
Popped up. Who wants this? It'll be Gomez. He's got it. And there's out number 2. Now, we told you earlier Freddie Freeman's watching the game. So, Freddie, here we go. It's trivia time. Joe and I might need some help. Day game after a night game. Juan Uribe is going to stand in for Atlanta. The Braves have hit 131 homers all time against the Milwaukee Brewers. Which Atlanta Brave has hit the most homers against Milwaukee all time? It's a very good trivia question.
Remember, they were in the American League, right, for some time.
And so Craig Counsell with Uribe up there won't let Smith face him, with Atlanta extending the lead here in the 7th inning. Kelly Johnson flies out. 1 in, 1 on, 2 outs. Uribe, the batter, will tell you about the new Brewer pitcher when we come back to Miller Park in a moment.
is presented by Georgia Power and Zaxby's.
Fans, if you're playing fantasy baseball, MLB.tv serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Get MLB.tv today. Jeremy Jeffress.
And he's a hard thrower. 94, 95, 96 with a curveball. Good numbers for him. Strikeout per inning.
Peterson took over for Davison left on the double switch. And Uribe looks at a strike. Eight scoreless outings in a row for the Brewers reliever, Jeremy Jeffress. And a liner foul out of play at 95 miles an hour. Jeffress was in the Toronto organization. They designated him for assignment last April. Elected free agency 11 days later and signed with Milwaukee. And he just struck out Uribe, who did a 360 spin as he's retired to send our game to the 7th inning stretch. Atlanta adds an insurance run, a bunt hit, and a double by Markakis makes it 5-3 Braves after 6.5. Now it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag SouthDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That is brought to you by T-Mobile.
Back to that trivia question, who's hit the most homers by the Atlanta Braves against the Brewers? I seem to recall Brian McCann circling the bases a lot.
Okay.
I remember a grand slam he hit here the opposite field once. I remember some into the cheap seats and right, so I'm going to go with Brian McCann.
Okay, that's a good guess. I'm still waiting for Freddie Freeman's answer. I'll pass that along to you, and then I'll make a guess myself. As Scooter Gennett goes to work against Julio Teheran, who again, bottom part of the order coming up. If he can get this thing through 7 with a 2-run lead, Braves will take their chances with the bullpen.
You bet.
That's outside, ball 2. That didn't get it.
That slower breaking ball has been pretty good today. He's put it in good spots. He's kept it down. And he's had the hitters out on their front foot. But don't go up there.
If there's any trouble at all, the Braves bullpen is busy. Vizcaino was up earlier. Luis Avilan has joined him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air to right. Markakis tracking it down. Got there. Excellent play by Nick Markakis.
It's the second play Nick has made like this, diving and catching one right off the turf in the last 3 or 4 days. I think the last one was maybe at home, maybe on Sunday against the Phillies. Perfect timing, good play.
And a good start for Julio. Gene Segura bats 0 for 2. And he's gotten ahead of him. Yes, Teheran's given up 2 homers today, but I would suggest he's been 2 different pitchers in this game. A shaky, long, uncomfortable looking first. Much more fluid, much more confident, and much more effective since the opening inning, despite the 3 runs he's allowed.
And more aggressive. That's the bottom line. First inning when he was nitpicking around and walked those 2 guys. And then fell behind Chris Davis. It was like he was pitching to not make a mistake. And once he got through the first inning, he was a different guy.
Julio Teheran has struggled on the road. He's pitched very well today. He's allowed 2 hits. Try, didn't get the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
All right, Teheran, I would want Perez to move back over to the on-deck circle and quit standing behind the plate and getting a better look at my pitches. I know that.
He's missed with 3 in a row now. Don't want to walk him. We got Perez, then Peterson after Gene Segura.
And Segura doesn't want to walk. He's only walked 9 times all year.
To second. Peterson played the hop. He was a little in between on that batted ball, but he made the right choice. 2 out.
Yeah, I don't know that he could see it real well off the bat, especially when it's hit on a soft line right at him. He doesn't know if it's going to get to him on the fly, but handled it perfectly.
Perez has struck out swinging twice today. Pitch for Teheran, a new season high, number 111, and it evens the count.
Yeah, he's still good. He's still got enough in the tank, certainly, to finish this inning.
And he's a strike away from doing just that.
now it's kind of like Fultonevich last night, coming in relief for the first time. Just get after it, pound the zone. Nothing he can do but make it 5-4. It's your last inning anyway, more than likely. Finish him off.
And he just did. Julio Teheran just struck out his 8th man. 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the 8th inning. So far, the Brewers have not been able to catch the Braves. They're down by 2. Second road game of the year for the Braves. There's his line.
Good line when you think that the 3 walks, 2 of them came back to back in the first inning. Only 1 after the first inning. And 7 of his 8 strikeouts after the first inning.
Eighth inning. Simmons, Perez, Lavarnway are scheduled. And that one's up the middle. Segura flips to first. Slick play at the second base bag. 1 pitch, 1 out. Perez is 0 for 3. He's trying to go 7-1 in July. They're trying to get over 500. It's been a while since the Braves could say that. The last time they were over 500, June 1st, when they were 26-25.
It's been a while.
And when you're winning, it's always good to put that first score on the board so that the team or teams ahead of you know you're taking a step closer in the rearview mirror. That's exactly what the Braves are hoping for. Win this one, get some help from the Reds. If that happens, we'd start play 3 out of first in tomorrow's series with the Rockies. All bets are off when you go to Colorado. You throw out the record because tough place to pitch, great place to hit. Colorado 35-48. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. They're under 500 at home. It's 17-23.
And it's the same old story. You're first in runs, first in average, first in all the offensive categories you want to pick, and last in pitching in a whole bunch of categories. Same story. The names change, but the results don't.
I don't know how you fix that.
I don't. Well, can't make a park with a 500-foot center field and 400 feet down the lines. That's kind of what you need.
It's downstairs. Perez walks with 1 out. Barnway will be the batter. I always thought too in Colorado, I've said this a couple of times in our broadcasts, they cut the infield very short and they roll the infield. It's very fast. Why wouldn't you grow the infield as thick and as high as you can to give your pitcher something.
No, I think they did that, Chip.
Did they?
Yeah, I think they tried that back when they went with the Billy Swifts and the Brett Saberhagens and those guys trying to get those sinker ballers to take advantage of that. Didn't. No. Even the ground balls were going out of the park.
Barnway takes the ball, 1 ball, no strikes. He scored one of the Braves 5 runs today. He's popped out and was intentionally walked last time up.
Done another good job behind the plate, kind of guiding Julio through that first inning especially. And since then he's been kind of a coach / cheerleader and catcher along the way for him.
Barring a double play, Chris Johnson will pinch hit. One ball, 2 strikes.
That's another good thing Freddie's done, and I think it goes to what you said, Carlos Tosca said about Freddie being at his best when he's got interchangeable parts. He's done a good job, I think, of keeping everybody fresh, getting them at bats. Some maybe not as many as they'd like, guys that have been used to playing every day like Chris, but got some guys some rest in this series. Guys don't go too long, too many days without an at bat.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a ground ball to second. There's the turn, and it is a double play. 9-1-2 coming up for Milwaukee as this one moves to the 8th. Game, 7 innings of 2-run or 2-hit 3-run baseball, and he'll give way to Luis Avilan with a couple of left-handers coming up for the Brewers to start the 8th.
Luis got a night off last night, should be ready to go. Peterson came in the game on a double switch, so he's batting in the 9 spot, and we've talked quite a bit about Luis's splits, lefties and righties, and lefties hitting him better than right-handers, but that left-handed number's coming down. The last week or so He's had a lot better luck retiring left-handed hitters.
Shane Peterson will greet him first. Peterson had an RBI hit last night. And that's a strike. Braves bullpen is our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
8th best ERA in Major League Baseball. Fewest homers, most saves, most double plays. Doing a good job.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm very anxious to see how this threesome of Vizcaino, Carpenter, and Fulton-Ebich do out of the bullpen. How they complement the other guys.
A lot of different looks, that's for sure. Is this one in the air to left? It'll drop in front of Perez for a blue pit. Leadoff single for Peterson. That brings the tying run to the plate. And Gerardo Parra is the batter.
Yeah, Craig Counsell may have missed the boat on Peterson in this series. He's 3 for 3. 1 at bat, 1 hit in all 3 games. Ric Flair to left right there.
Parra hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. He's 0 for 3. That one softly into right. Markakis won't get that one. Barehanded grab. And 2 are on with nobody out.
Good grief. Just like that on a couple of pitches, he's in the soup. Tying runs aboard, and that one was up and in. Got the heart of their order up here. Let's see what Craig Counsell has in mind with the tying runs on and nobody out.
Well, the tone for Luis's season might have been set opening day. Remember down in Miami, Julio Teheran left the game with the bases loaded. Luis Avilan came on and got Jared Saltalamacchia to hit into a big double play to preserve an Atlanta lead.
No sacrifice bunts for Lucroy on the year.
Got a corner. LeCroy wasn't sure about that.
And that's a big pitch. That's a big call to not have a 2-0 count to a guy who's a dangerous hitter. You've still got a choice of pitches you can go to, hoping that he gets a little over aggressive. 2-0, you're more likely to throw a strike.
He couldn't stop his swing. 1-2.
And he did just that. It's not a real good breaking ball. I'm not sure that it was a strike. But Jonathan wants to drive those runs in.
Strike 3, and Lucroy knew
it. He was already walking. The ball may not have been in Lavarnway's glove, and he was already leaning to start walking. Great job by Luis.
Harnway didn't have to move the mitt. Now a double play ends the inning.
This guy is susceptible to a good changeup. Now, can you throw it on the first pitch? I think so, because he's so aggressive. And Luis has had a real good changeup to right-handers lately. And there it was. And that was a good one. That was in a good spot off the plate.
Popped up a mile high. Simmons couldn't find it and picked it up, but it was 30 rows up.
That's why Anderson kept running. He didn't know where it was. This guy, the thing that scares you about Gomez is that he's not trying to hit a ground ball through the hole on the right side. There's only one thing in mind. He already hit a home run today. He wants to hit the ball out of the ballpark and give them the lead. That also works against him.
Two bloop hits and a strikeout so far in the Milwaukee eighth.
Super,
5-3.
Super sinker right here. It worked great.
Lind is on deck. Fly ball crushed deep left. Perez back. It's a home run.
Breaking ball. Didn't give in 3-2 of the fastball. Didn't appear. But like I said, that's the only thing he was thinking about.
Two bloops and a blast, and the game turns around on one swing. It's 6-5 Milwaukee. Brewers batting in the eighth. And now Adam Lind is the batter. And that's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
You are so right about the two bloops, too.
Now you're staring down the barrel of the Brewers all-star closer, K-Rod. I believe is up and throwing now in the bullpen. 6-5 Milwaukee.
Yeah, that one was a little high.
Back out of play, headed toward Bob Uecker's booth. It's 2-2. Aramis Ramirez will be the next hitter. Remember, Ryan Vaughn may not be available with a sore wrist. No swing. Lynn walks for a second time today. That's the first for Avilan.
Ready waiting to see if Ramirez is going to be announced.
And now that Ramirez is announced, that will be the end of the line for Luis Avilan. 1/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 1 strikeout. The fateful blow, the Gomez 3-run homer. 6-5, Milwaukee leads it. .6-5 Milwaukee, a 2-homer day for Carlos Gomez. And Arodys Vizcaíno's on for Atlanta. He'll face Aramis Ramirez in the 8th.
Great job last night coming in a tight spot, getting a double play ball on his second pitch. If you weren't with us last night, talked about Vizcaíno having a great arm, but for him it was all about command.
That one's in for a strike. It's 1-1 to Ramirez.
That was nice.
What was that?
Something at 84 that the bottom dropped out on him.
Did he throw a split?
It might have been.
Two balls, 2 strikes. There's ball 3. Two bloops, a blast, and a base on balls for the Brewers in the 8th. And a swing and a miss. Ramirez chased one up around his shoulders. And Vizcaíno gets his first man. 1 out.
96 with some gas upstairs.
Scooter Gennett is hitless today.
5 hits for the Brewers today. All the runs have come by way of homer.
2-run shot in the 4th, solo shot in the 6th, and a 3-run homer here in the 8th.
That one took a bite out of the Barnway.
Fouled away. It's 2-2. Looking ahead to the Braves' 9th inning. Got the pitcher spot due first. And Peterson, then Maben.
Another good crowd here today, over 33,000.
In the air toward left, Perez at the line makes the catch. Vizcaino, nice work, but not before Milwaukee plates 3 to take a lead. Last call of the night for Atlanta. For Atlanta, last chance for Freddie Freeman to pick his answer on the AT&T Universe trivia question. He's watching right now and probably texting like a madman. The Braves have recorded 131 homers all time against the Brewers. Which Atlanta Brave has the most?
I'll say McCann.
I'll say Chipper.
Chipper.
Right. 19 of them. Freddie texted Barry Bonds.
Pay attention to the question.
Good guess, but it was which Atlanta Brave, not which player all time, Freddie. And let's see if the Braves can put together a bloop and a blast of their own here in the 9th inning. As they face the Brewers all-star closer, K-Rod, named to his 6th all-star game. And trying to catch Jeff Reardon with his 367th save today.
18 for 18 in saves, low average. Throws just as many changeups as he does fastballs. Fastball around 88 to 90.
And Pedro Ciriaco takes the strike. Boy, he's done an excellent job off the bench with a bat for the Braves. Pedro's 6 for 17 in pinch hits.
Big leg kick, a lot of motion, a lot of deception on the changeup from Rodriguez. Second tour of duty with the Brewers.
Got away with the pitch there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 5 years of 40 saves or more in the career of Francisco Rodriguez. A major league record 62 of them in 2008 when he was with the Angels. Broken bat, slowly hit. Siriaco can run. Bare hand play Segura, and it's past Lind. It's an infield hit for Pedro Siriaco. Not a bloop, but it's a broken bat hit. Braves will take it. That's the tying run.
Just needed a base runner anyway, anyhow. Nice play by Segura to barehand it. Got too much speed going down the line.
One on in the Atlanta ninth. Jace Peterson has walked, bunted for a single, and has scored 2 runs. K-Rod hasn't pitched since last Thursday. Let's hope he's rusty.
Which book will Freddie Gonzalez follow here?
I hope Peterson would tip his hand. He didn't.
The old school book is you play to win on the road, play to tie at home because you get the last at bat. I've always said you can't win it till you tie it.
It's bunted foul. Jace laid down a beautiful bunt in the 7th. That was for a base hit. He scored on Markakis's 1-out double.
On occasion, though, when he's bunting in this situation, he kind of pokes at it. He doesn't let the baseball travel to the bat and catch it with the bat. He's pushing at it.
No bunt that time. And the check at third. Hernan Perez, did you see him? Third base hollered check and then pointed right at Eric Cooper.
Bunting, not bunting. Now what's he doing?
Runner goes, swing, and it's popped back toward us. Siriaco with a long look at Bo Porter as he makes his way back to the first base bag.
And I get that because if this guy, I mean, he throws as many changeups as fastballs, it's about 50-50. If you get a changeup and you just roll over the top of it, you know, and put it in play, you've protected the runner. You get him to second at the very least.
Pedro leads, not going, and it's swing and a miss. Peterson's down on strikes. Freddie gave him a shot to lay down a bunt. He couldn't. Foul the pitch back for the second strike with the runner going, and then swings and misses.
Change up.
Milwaukee not out of the woods yet. Maben with a 3-run homer. That played to the first 3 runs of the day for either club. Braves scored 4 in that inning. 1 more in the 7th. Runner goes. Pitch low. The throw to second. In time. Siriaco tagged out.
No review available.
Remember, the Braves used a challenge when Yuri Perez dived in at first base on a bang-bang play.
Looked like he tagged him after he'd already gone by and tagged him on the back or the back side. In fact, he did, but my, oh my. The umpires can request a review. The managers cannot.
So it is going to be reviewed. The call at second was out. From that angle we just showed you, it looked like the tag was applied to Siriaco's back pocket, and he was touching the second base bag. This is an umpire's review. Crew chief requested the review.
Who made the call? He's safe. I mean, and he made the call, but most of the time when an umpire sees a tag that high, or on this case that late, he calls him safe anyway. Huge call for Atlanta.
If he's safe, the tying runs in scoring position. And upon review, the call will stand.
Wow.
That one's hard to figure. Man tagged on the back of his thigh. Was called out at second base with half his body behind the second baseman. The call stands. Here's Maben. Fly ball center. Right at Gomez. And how apropos is that? He hit 2 homers. He catches the final out. And the Brewers steal one from the Braves with a big 8th inning. Final score at Miller Park. Brewers 6, Atlanta 5. The ball was flying on this afternoon. 5 total homers, 3 were hit by the Brewers, and the biggest blow came off the bat of the Milwaukee center fielder facing Luis Avilan.
Slow breaking ball. He stayed back enough to go down and get it.
The Braves win the series, but we're hoping for so much more. Milwaukee avoids a sweep and hangs on to win 6-5 today.